How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back. Sorry, I had the wrong thumbnail on my intro, apart from on the actual thing itself, so my bad. Straight back into it. Wolves at Old Trafford tomorrow to play United. So obviously United off the back of a good performance at Burnley the other day, which I haven't reacted to, but we'll do a little bit of reaction in this stream. So get that going. So just could talk a little bit about the formation. Talk a bit about the Burnley game, some of the positives from that game. Will we see a similar sort of style and some of the same sort of players? Obviously, Cavani got a good shout. Greenwood was in there as well. Will we see those players starting against Wolves tomorrow? There's a little bit of doubt in my mind that'll happen. I think he'll resort back to the Fred McTominay back defensive midfield. I don't think he will go with Matic again. I think he'll look to look with Fred as Wolves are quite a counter-attacking team, quite strong, quite compact. And I think he'll want Fred in there to break that up. So I think he'll revert back to Fred tomorrow. So that's what I think he will go with. Obviously, McTominay had a good game, and McTominay's shown that many times actually. When McTominay's gone further forward, his striking ability and his finishing ability on the ball is fantastic, and that's what we need to see more of from McTominay. You know, that's kind of what you want to see from Pogba a little bit, and he does it very infrequently when he's played. But yeah, we desperately need to see a bit more of that from McTominay, getting further forward past the halfway line into the opposition's final third and making them pay. And often when he connects with the ball, he's so deadly accurate, and he's so powerful with those with his side foot. It's ridiculous. You know, it was great against Leeds when he did it against Leeds. He's done it against Man City. You know, he did it the other day. And it's just those performances when McTominay puts those sort of level of performances in, they do sort of elevate his ability in terms of where we think he's at from a Man United fan point of view. And you want him to continue on that, but then he seems to sort of dip off. Now, whether that's because of the rest of the team or whether his partner in Fred is not, matching that or supporting that, or the system doesn't support that, I'm not sure. But when he puts a sort of level of performances in, they're always incredible performances. They're never, okay, average performances. And he puts himself in the realms of Declan Rice and players like that who now United are trying to get hold of. But in my opinion, if McTominay plays like he did the other night, there's no reason why he hasn't got a place in that team. So, really positive. How are eating some crisps? Really positive. Really positive from McTominay. I think overall the performance against Burnley was better offensively. I thought it was very good defensively. Defensively, I thought it was still shaky, still quite poor. I felt there was areas where at any given moment we could concede. I thought the chance that they got was half a chance. No taking it away from Lennon. It was a great finish, but you can't really sort of give De Gea too much criticism for that. I think it was right in the corner, and anything slightly less than that would have been a save from De Gea. So you can't really blame the goalkeeper. I think again, Maguire. Can you blame Maguire? I thought he showed him away on his right. How he managed to cut it back. Again, not taking it away from Lennon. Maybe I'm doing him a disservice. Maybe he did. It was a good finish, and he deserves to take that credit. But he could have shut him out a little sooner. Maybe closed the gap down so that the shot would have been blocked or it would have gone wide. Still Maguire's still sort of leaking goals, and we just look very, very shaky. I thought Shaw was a massive positive. Seeing Shaw back, we've had Tellers and Dalot on either side playing, pushing Wan-Bissaka and Shaw potentially out of the team. And I think we saw the reason why Shaw is regarded as one of the best left backs in the world, or was prior to the during the Euros, because he just seemed to show a little bit of class that Tellers certainly doesn't have. He was sharp on the ball, good in possession, provided an avid sort of threat on goal, and just more potent. And it just looked like we just signed another world class left back. Having him back to full fitness and him back in the squad was like a breath of fresh air. So that was a massive positive, I think, to get Shaw back, and I think we'll most definitely see Shaw playing tomorrow. I think he did enough against Burnley to show Rangnick that he's somebody who's going to press. I think he pressed for one of the goals. I think it was it the second goal? Sancho, he pressed, won the ball back. Sancho got give the ball to Sancho, and Sancho went on, and it wasn't his goal in the end, but it was he did enough to warrant the goal. And just breath of fresh air having Shaw back, and if he can maintain and get back to that level of form and fitness that he was at the beginning of the season, then we've got a very good left hand side. So that was really good to see as well. Varane coming, obviously having to come on. Bailly picking up a knock. I thought Bailly was having a good game. Once again, Bailly's picked up another knock. Don't know how long he's out for. Has been good this season when we've needed him, to be fair. I've not been one of his biggest fans, but he has done really, really well as Bailly. And again, another sort of setback really for him. But Varane comes in now. He got half an hour, whatever it was, the other day against Burnley. So no doubt he'll be playing the game today. Obviously, a couple of more days of training, so I'm sure he'll be ready now to start the game tomorrow. And them two need a clean sheet. They desperately need to show some sort of control. I think that's what Rangnick's really sort of struggling with at the minute, and probably quite upset with, is the fact that we're creating chances. Well, we've been limited for that prior to Burnley, but we scored goals the other night. But again, it didn't seem convincing when we are sort of maintaining a slower tempo where we're on top and we need to kill out the game, or when we're submerged or subjected to an attack from the opposition, we don't seem to be able to be in control to deal with it. When you watch the best teams and there's other teams attacking against them, you just don't feel like there's any threat or any concern. It's dealt with. Being out of possession and having to defend isn't necessarily an issue if you've got players who know how to do it properly. And at the moment, we just don't seem to be able to get his head around how to do that properly at the minute. And I think that's the biggest thing for Rangnick, that he's more concerned with us in defence and being shaky as a defensive unit rather than an offensive one. So that is a concern, and we don't have a lot of depth in our squad either. So that's another sort of concern added on to that when it comes to a defensive centre halves that we can rely upon, and fullbacks. So bit of a concern there with that. So yeah, overall the Burnley game was positive. Obviously, you've got to look at it as a positive when you just won a game, 3-1, but you do feel a little bit as if it was fortunate to have been up in that game when we were. I think following that, in the second half, we were limited for chances, which was another concern really. You sort of want to go on from there and win 4-5-1. It did feel like we were a little fortunate at times. Did we miss Bruno? No, I don't think we did miss Bruno. I think, which is going to be surprising with how he plays tomorrow, with him being back from suspension. So he's back. He's going to be definitely back in the lineup tomorrow. And like I say, do we miss him? Will we miss him? We didn't miss him. But that's not to say that if Bruno would have been playing, we wouldn't have won by more, or Bruno wouldn't have scored or set up a goal. So it's difficult. I think that's unfair. I think Bruno's not been on form. He's not played really well recently, but that's not to say that he won't play well. And Man United don't miss him. We do. It'd be arrogant to suggest that we wouldn't miss him. So No, definitely back in the lineup tomorrow, I think. And yeah, as I say, some massive positives from the Burnley game. I thought Ronaldo looked a little sharper, was a little bit better on the ball, was coming to the ball a little bit more deeper, was getting involved in the build-up, in the play. I thought Cavani was a little quiet, but that's not to say that he wasn't doing his job. I think his job is equally one of pressing from the front as opposed to being a constant outlet from attack. So I think he's a no-brainer, really, is an addition to that team. And I didn't think he had a bad game. I just don't think he had a particular lot of offensive service. I don't think we missed Rashford at all, and I really don't feel like Rashford's getting back into this team anytime soon. With the way things are going for him, there's other talk. Obviously, we'll talk a bit about the Martial. I've heard a bit of news about the Lingard post, which I didn't see myself. I just heard some news about it. Obviously, some talk about some Sanchez signing him this January. So lots of sort of talk banding around at the minute about things. Martial potentially leaving in January. Is Dean Henderson still going to go in January? Is Donny going to stay? That was a massive head scratcher that on the other day against Burnley. Van der Beek didn't get a shout, to be quite honest, considering he's done nothing wrong. He's played when he's been asked to be played. I'm not sure. I thought Rangnick was definitely a big fan of his, and he's still not really getting a game, especially when Fernandes is dropped or he's suspended. It's mind-boggling. If you can't get a game when your counterpart, who's kind of filling that position for you, doesn't play, it doesn't bode well for your future at a football club. So that's a big concerning one. I think Donny will give it to the end of the season, and I think we'll then see him leave. But I don't see him leaving in January. I think it's too soon, unless he goes to a club with an option to buy in summer. Then we'll see. But just can't see it happening really in January, to be quite honest. So we'll jump into the formation. Done it slightly differently this time, so we can mess around with it a little bit. So let's see how that goes. Let's have a look. There we go. Alright, okay. So this is what I think he'll go with. I don't think he'll go Wan-Bissaka, right? I just don't think he's been... I didn't think he played bad against Burnley, to be quite honest. I might be wrong in that regard. Dello did come on in the second half in that game, a little further forward, if I recall. Wasn't at right back. I think it was sort of further forward. But we've definitely, I don't think we'll play Wan-Bissaka. I could be wrong. I could be terribly wrong. And I think if he does play him, I don't think it'd be a bad option. I think what we've got to consider against Wolves is that we're gonna have to soak up pressure. At times, Traore is quick. Jimenez is strong, so he's going to hold up the ball, laying off. Your likes of Traore. I think Neto's still injured, which there would have been a big risk to us as well. So Neto, Jimenez, and Traore would have been a formidable sort of trio. But I think Jimenez not being the player since he suffered his fracture. Traore's not had a particularly good run of form of late, and so I don't think they are as risky to us as they once were. But I do feel my nose back in. So I really do feel like 2 seconds. I really do feel as if they will play. Dallo on the right. Sorry, my dog barking there took my attention away. So and then definitely think they'll play Varane. Maguire obviously is going to be playing. I saw some talk as well just on the Maguire situation. I mean, I don't really want to sort of get into sort of personal battles with whoever else. We'll have to see. But yeah, so we'll have to see with Maguire's situation. But Maguire will, I think it was Rio Ferdinand said something about his captaincy. It was a mistake. I think it's long overdue, that discussion, and I really do feel like that give him some time and he'll kick back into some form. So yeah, we'll see how we go with Maguire, but he definitely needs a clean sheet with Varane. I think Varane needs a little bit of some game time as well. He's been up and down since his time at United. Obviously, Lindelof was doing okay when he first came in. That was obviously a bit sort of risky for him. Then he's had some tough games against some tough opposition. We've had some big losses, and then he's had some injuries to deal with as well. So he's been up and down for Varane really. So he really just needs a little bit of continuity now in his game, and I do think turn of the year he'll get that. So hopefully we get a clean sheet tomorrow. I see a good partnership with him and Maguire, and we can go from there really. Shaw definitely in. I think from other night he was a lot better than he's been most of the season. And having him back was a breath of fresh air, especially going forward. His pace, his interlinking play with Sancho, and we need to develop it a little bit further. But I think he's always seems to make the right sort of decisions in the right sort of areas, and I definitely think Shaw will be playing. Fred, McTominay, I think that goes without saying. I think McTominay's got his place in the team anyway, but I think from the other day he did nothing wrong at all, so he's definitely in the starting lineup. And I don't think he'll go with Matic. I think he'll go with Fred, just so he's breaking up that play. Ideally, allowing McTominay to drift and Fred to cover. I think that's how they've got to play that. Sancho on the right of a weird formation. I mean, effectively, what's going to happen is I think that's going to happen when we sat back, waiting to spring. As soon as we spring, that then happens where I think Bruno's going to sort of take stuff off Shaw, maybe even fill in. I mean, it could work where that he fills in sort of like this when we're defensive, and Cavani sort of drops back in, sort of back in here, leaving Sancho to sort of float around. But I think what will happen is it's the weird one, this 4-2-2-2 formation, because ultimately I don't think it's very wide, and that's why it's very important for like Shaw and Dalot, or Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, or Tellers, and whoever it's going to be, the two full-backs basically, to get up the pitch and start crossing in these balls. Now, if we don't do that, just gonna get a football on here as well. Why not? If we don't do that, then we're in a bit of bother, because then we're quite narrow, which means when other teams press against us, we're in a position where, I don't know, I'm just going to put some, let's go with a gold colour, and don't worry about numbers, but we're in a position where it's kind of like this, and obviously you've got a bank of four and everything else, but the press is in like this, and what we're tending to do now is obviously pass it out from the back. These balls here need to come into this central area, so this sort of central area here is key for any successful team. When you're building out from the back, what we're tending to do at the minute when this goes up is, once teams sit in against us, we find it very difficult to break teams down. And what we're doing is playing in balls into here, to here, to here, to here, to here, and coming back. And it's just doing that. What we're not doing enough of is when we're in these positions, like this, is when it's trying to find somebody in the hole in here, or if Cavani's a bit further up, if it's Bruno, trying to get into this hole here, so then it allows your overload on the far side or in behind here. We're not doing that enough, we're playing around it like this, which is just allowing teams just to shuffle across. It's too easy. So we really need to be a bit more brave in those situations where if the pass is on and somebody's calling for it in these gaps in the hole here, like we're sort of here now. Dallow's got the ball. He's under pressure. Bruno wants it in here. He's got a few defenders on his back. The ball needs to go. The ball needs to go into Bruno. Trust Bruno's going to deal with that, or trust whoever it is going to be in that hole to deal with that ball. I don't think we're doing that enough. But yeah, so that's essentially the formation. Let's get rid of these. Formation, I think he will. He's going to go with, and it's just this Bruno situation on this left. It doesn't instill me with much confidence, really. It lacks pace. I don't think Sancho is as pacey as we all think that he is. Which is a bit of a shame, because I like him a lot. I think he's great. I think his strengths are when he's in these positions, sort of bring somebody back on. When he's in these positions like this, where he's tight up against the byline, and you've got Dalot overlapping. I think he's great at sort of interchanging passes, getting the ball back and making balls in a cross. I think he's class at that, and that's what we need to do more of. But I think what Rangnick wants to play is sort of more counter-attacking. So if we do sort of go back to this here, which is what I think is more what he's playing when he's sat defensively, because I think that's ideally what he's actually playing, really. But if we're in a position where we've just won the ball back, you've got Wolves sort of committed. Wolves have committed men. They've I don't know. So we've won the ball back. You've got players sort of roughly out of position. You want to spring on that attack. So what Rangnick wants to play is that transition here from winning the ball back to getting this ball moving forward in transition. What we're not doing that quick enough. We're tending to play it here, and then allowing Wolves just to drop nice and steady, drop back into formation, and then we're trying to. Or if teams, if we're playing it steady here, then it's just allowing teams to pile back on us, and pressure us back in, and then we're hoofing it back to them, and then working back at us or counter-attacking back on us. So it's something we really desperately need to work on with that, and I think that's what we need to see a little bit more of. It's dealing with the balls. It's coming this way though for me as well. I think going forward we seem to sort of figure it out against Burnley a little bit. Let's remove that. We seem to figure it out against Burnley just a little bit. But when the ball's coming our way, we're just a little bit cagey and a little shaky dealing with it. I mean, Shaw, he's probably already committed. Bruno's probably here, Cavani's here, Ronaldo's here, Sancho's here. If Fred's gone, you've got Fred and McTominay dealing with it, and McTominay might be slightly out of position. Dalot might be sort of here. Then you've got Fred, really, Varane having to, overcommit, and Maguire. And you've got a big gap here and gaps in behind. And that's often this season what we found too many times, where, we've overcommitted. And it's for me, it's dealing with this. It's identifying this as a unit. These two need to sort of figure that out, about how we best, in certain moments of the game, how we best set up. Obviously, if we're sat like this, we're ready, and it's only maybe McTominay who's out of position. Fred's here, and we've got a bank of four, and Fred. Then we should be fairly comfortable with that. But then it's when we do win that ball, when Fred wins this ball here, we've won it. They've tried to break on us. We've won it back. Fred's broken up the play. Fred then needs to be the one giving it, giving it and making the right choice, which puts us in a very, very good position. As I say, the formation is the best of a bad bunch for me. I don't think Bruno. I think Bruno's out of position. I think Bruno would be best suited sitting in behind a bank of two. I think it'd be best if we had one defensive midfielder. I'm not going to say Fred's this guy on the left, but I think we'd be better suited to something more like that, where we're trusting the fact that we're a bit more of a diamond in there. Gives us a little bit more width. We're trusting McTominay can cover left and right, or that defensive midfielder can cover left and right. It gives us the ability to still overlap. Fred's in his position. I mean, if we're going to play one, then we can always tuck in another defensive midfielder if we really wanted to, and play more like that. It's a bit more compact. But I think the fact that we're Man United and we want to score goals and we've got the players who've got the quality to do that, I think playing Bruno in the central midfield is where we need him to be playing. Or even playing with McTominay in there, but allowing Bruno to still move forward and allowing McTominay to tuck in. So, obviously that's not what we're playing. We're playing this 4-2-2-2 formation, which is the weirdest formation ever. But, obviously, that's what Rangnick wants to play. That's what Rangnick feels like we are best suited. Personally, I just feel like we're not pacey enough on the wings to play it. If we had Rashford and Greenwood playing those two positions, and I feel like from a pacey offensive point of view, we would be better. But from a defensive point of view, we'd be probably slightly worse. He's got a bit of a conundrum. I think what you do is you do always play to your strengths. I think our strengths would be one defensive midfielder. I really do. And somebody in this midfield role here, in a more advanced role. More winger type, wide players. But, yeah. So that's clearly what he's playing. Obviously, Cavani's going to be tucking in when it's defensive and we're pressing. Ronaldo will be going left. Cavani left or right, sorry. But yeah, Cavani will be there to tuck in to protect these two, but he's got a big job on his hands. And I felt he did well, Cavani against Burnley. I felt like he did, he really sort of pressed from the front. I know he didn't get a lot of reward for that, and everyone said he had a bit of a quiet game. He did, but he did his job. His job was to press, and we got reward from that. So, yeah, that's what I think he will play on. Tomorrow. And I'll be there. I'll be there at Old Trafford. I'm in the South Stand, taking my son to watch it. So hopefully we get a good result. See a good game. But yeah, we'll see. So coming close to the half an hour mark now, guys. So I'm gonna wrap it up there. So I don't think. Yeah, I think the game just kicked off now. There's some games on later on. Chelsea, Liverpool, yeah, big game at 4:30. So that'll be an exciting one. Although I do feel like the title race is gone now. I just don't see past City really at this moment in time. I think they've been phenomenal, really. They've been really, really good. So I don't see much past City at this moment in time. But yeah, on to Man United Wolves, and hopefully we'll get some positive results. Do a bit of footage tomorrow. Do a reaction day after tomorrow. And if you watch, please subscribe. Please hit a like. It'd be more interactive. I get some more people on. I keep saying that. Get some more comments. I've had one comment on today, but we'll get some more comments. Get some more people chatting. Then we can do a little bit of have a bit of exchange and a bit of a debate and chat about what's happening. So if you've watched or do watch, appreciate it, guys. Thank you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.